So, people are watching, not just because of one person. All right, but they're watching because of me too. Me too. They're playing at LSU. There are people right now, her fans, you know what? Her social media fans.
Angel Reese tried to throw a party and forgot to invite the crowd. Empty seats, low prices, and still no takers. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark returned like Beyonce on tour, selling out a 15,000-seat arena in Brazil. Iowa, with fans paying $670 just to breathe near her. Yes, folks, the Caitlin Clark effect is back, and it's bigger than your uncle's midlife crisis Corvette. Buckle up. This level up is so wild, even Angel's scoreboard forgot to show up.
The Chicago Sky went to LSU and played in a half-empty building. They not only had Angel Reese, they also had Haley Van Lith. They had two players from LSU, but one, largely Angel Reese, who is supposedly so unbelievably beloved in Baton Rouge that you would think that her return to LSU would fill the building.
Caitlin Clark is back, and just like that, every scoreboard in the women's basketball universe has been replaced by a Caitlin Clark fan thermometer. She breathes near a court, and the arena sells out before she finishes inhaling. Meanwhile, on the other side of the basketball coin, and by coin we mean that cardboard token you get at an arcade when the machine is broken, we've got Angel Reese, desperately hoping her preseason game would at least beat the attendance of a third-grade recital. Spoiler alert, it didn't.
Being here with you guys today, Angel Reese. Girl, you're my angel. You're my darling. Folks, the Chicago Sky Game 1 of the preseason was underway last night. Angel Reese looked pretty good, but we're going to get into that momentarily. On the negative side, Angel Reese fans, LSU fans, all of you who tell us, oh my God, what a big superstar.
Oh yes, the showdown that wasn't. Angel Reese walked into her preseason debut with the swagger of someone expecting a red carpet, only to realize the carpet had been rolled back up and used as insulation in the ceiling of the half-empty gym. And the best part? They were practically giving away those tickets. You could have paid for a seat with 2 buttons and a juice box, and they still had leftovers. At this point, Angel could have thrown in a meet and greet, a selfie, and a free dinner, and people would still rather spend their evening stuck in traffic.
I've tried to tell you guys, you heard me say it on this channel. A lot of Angel Reese fans are not basketball fans, and they are proving it. They proved it last night without a shadow of a doubt. That was one of the most embarrassing things I've ever seen. You might be like, well, Rhodes, what was so embarrassing?
But Caitlin Clark? Oh, she sneezes, and Iowa fans build a stadium around the tissue. The woman could host a pickup game in a cornfield, and ESPN would air it in prime time. When she came back to Iowa to face Brazil, it wasn't just a game, it was an event. The Pope gets less attendance, the lowest ticket price, $670 American dollars. For context, that's roughly the price of a kidney in the underground market. And yet, people paid it gladly. Some fans didn't even get in. They just stood outside the arena like it was Woodstock, hoping to hear the bounce of her dribble through the concrete.
I don't want to hear ever again anyone ever tell me that there's anyone that's like Caitlin Clark in the WNBA. I don't ever want to hear it again. Nobody. There is nobody like her. I'm not glazing her. I'm telling the truth. I'm not blowing her. I'm telling the truth. She drew over 16,000 people to watch her team play the Brazilian national team at Iowa. Tickets were going for over $600 per the broadcast on the third-party market. The tickets sold out in the blink of an eye. People keep telling us there are other people in the WNBA who have made it matter. People keep telling us there are other players who are so very, very loved.
You've got to love the contrast. One player is essentially basketball's version of Coachella. The other, a local garage band still trying to convince the manager at Applebee's to let them perform during happy hour. Angel Reese's preseason game was so underattended, you could have hosted a family reunion in the bleachers and still had enough room for a dance floor. Someone actually tried to start a wave, and it ended with them doing a solo arm stretch because there was nobody to pass it to. And let's talk about that precious Caitlin Clark effect, the phenomenon that's more potent than gravity at this point. Remember when she was in college and packed every arena like it was the Super Bowl, except it was just Tuesday night against Wisconsin? Yeah, that's not fading. It's evolving. Now, it's not just about her playing. It's about existing in the same zip code as her. It's about proximity to greatness. Meanwhile, Angel's hoping someone recognizes her at Target.
What was so embarrassing? What was so embarrassing? How about this? Caitlin Clark, Soldier. Go follow. Right here. This was last night's attendance. 6,373 fans showed up to watch Angel Reese and Haley Van Lith. And by the way, she did get a very good pop.
People literally camped outside the arena for days just to watch Caitlin Clark play against Brazil, of all teams. Brazil, a team that, let's be honest, most of the crowd couldn't find on a map, even if you handed them a globe and a highlighter. But did anyone care? Absolutely not. It could have been Brazil, Belarus, or the cast of Dancing with the Stars. As long as Clark was playing, that court was selling out faster than a Taylor Swift concert. Caitlin could have laced up against 5 of those inflatable tube men from a car dealership. You know, the ones flailing like they're being electrocuted, and the arena still would have been packed to the rafters. One fan even admitted to buying a ticket just to hear the squeak of her sneakers on the hardwood floor. Not for a highlight reel, not for the buzzer beaters, just the squeak. This isn't just a basketball game anymore. It's not even a sports event. It's a cultural phenomenon. Caitlin Clark has managed to turn warm-ups into must-see TV. She's not just changing the game, she's rewriting the rules. The sport didn't level up. She became the level.
So I think it's time to finally, end the argument. End the argument that there is any sort of other needle mover that is even remotely close to Caitlin Clark in the WNBA. And again, the reason why we've got Haley Van Lith up is because it was Haley Van Lith's return as well as Angel Reese's return. Angel was not the only person. They had 2 players returning. However, right now in Carver, there are no tickets left for under $200.
But here's Angel strutting around like the court is just an extension of her TikTok feed and Fashion Week catwalk. Sweetheart, this isn't Paris Fashion Week. It's the WNBA, not the WN Beyonce. The hardwood doesn't care about your glam squad or how many outfit changes you squeezed into halftime. If fans wanted to see someone pose and pout, they'd scroll through Instagram or catch a rerun of America's Next Top Model. They showed up to see Caitlin Clark drop dimes, sink logo threes, and casually torch defenders with the kind of precision usually reserved for Navy snipers. She delivers buckets, not just bucket hats and sponsored content. You'd think Angel would have picked up on that. You'd think standing in a nearly empty arena while Clark plays to a sold-out crowd deafening enough to register on the Richter scale might clue her in. But nope. Angel Reese is still out here moving like she's the main character in a coming-of-age sports drama, except it's not love and basketball, it's more like love and benched ball.
Transcendent, oh my goodness, generational, oh my goodness, so on and so forth. You guys do all the talking, all the yapping, Twitter fingers turn to can't even show up and buy ticket fingers. Angel Reese going home to her alma mater, LSU, plays against the Brazilian national team in front of 6,373 people. 6,373 people. This is an arena that holds 13,000 people. We have a CBA negotiation.
Right, so let's run it back. This is the line. This is Scott Agnes. He put pictures up. This is the line from outside the arena to get in for this game. People were, and Caitlin Clark pointed this out in an interview with Holly Rowe, People were tailgating out there like it was the NFL to get in to this arena. We've got more on that. There's Caitlin Clark right there.
This isn't a blockbuster. It's a low-budget indie film that premiered at a forgotten film festival, got a 9% on Rotten Tomatoes, and pulled in less cash than a third grader's lemonade stand on a rainy day. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark's playing like she's got Marvel backing her, headlining the summer's biggest box office smash, while Angel's still waiting for someone to buy a ticket to her cinematic flop. Let's be honest, if ticket prices are low enough to compete with vending machine snacks and still nobody shows up, that's not a preseason game. That's a politely attended rehearsal for disappointment. You could practically hear the arena whispering, "Where is everybody?" And all while Caitlin Clark's fans were recreating Beatlemania with basketball jerseys. Imagine this, fans showing up to Angels game in groups of 5. Not 5 buses, 5 people. One was a janitor. 2 were parents who thought this was a high school recital, and 1 was lost and just needed directions. But flip over to Clark's return, and there's a stampede outside the arena like Beyonce and Taylor Swift formed a supergroup and decided to play halftime.
Carver is completely sold out. This is what the arena looked like last night to watch LSU. They didn't open the upper bowl. They did not open the upper bowl, and the lower bowl was half empty. It was at under 50% capacity. And obviously, look, the area of the crowd where the TV cameras are being shown was full. But it was under 50% capacity.
Now, to Angel's credit, no, actually, let's not. Because there's a limit to how many participation trophies we can hand out before it becomes a full-blown pity parade. At some point, the conversation shifts from potential to performance. And no, this isn't about stats or how many double-doubles you can squeeze into a highlight reel. This is about pull, the kind that makes headlines, drives ticket sales, and puts butts in seats. Caitlin Clark doesn't just play the game, she moves it. She bends the arena's attention like gravity. She's not just on the court, she is the court. She's a walking, dribbling celestial body with her own orbit. ESPN could reroute satellites around her. Angel Reese? Well, she's got the drawing power of an unplugged magnet sitting in a junk drawer. It's not that she's not talented, it's that talent without traction is just a warm-up act. Let's talk ticket prices. Caitlin's lowest resale tickets were brushing up against $700. People were skipping rent, mortgaging their futures, and trading priceless baseball cards from dead relatives just to sit in the rafters and watch her do layups.
Caitlin Clark is just different from everyone else, and anyone saying otherwise is lying to themselves. You see it on display as she was finally back on the basketball court. It has been a long time.
On the other hand, Angels game tickets were so cheap, you could have scored a front row seat with a half-stamped Subway punch card and a wink. And still, arenas echoed like an abandoned Food Lion. The only thing more empty than the seats was the energy. So yeah, potential is cute, but pull is currency. And Caitlin's printing it while Angel's still looking for the ATM. And what does Caitlin do when she hits the court? She doesn't just play basketball. She conducts a full-blown symphony of chaos, precision, and swagger. Every dribble is a drumbeat, every pass a note, and every three-pointer, that's the crescendo. From the second she steps onto the hardwood, the energy shifts. Fans are already on their feet during warm-ups, losing their minds over layups and logo shots like they just witnessed a miracle. She hasn't even checked in yet, and the building's already bouncing like it's the Final Four. When she pulls up from 30 feet, boom, the place erupts. It's not just noise, it's seismic. The rafters tremble, phones go flying, grown adults cry. There's electricity in the air, goosebumps on arms, and confetti in people's hearts, even if no one's tossed any yet. Every shot she takes is a shared moment of anticipation between thousands of strangers united by awe. She's the storm and the spotlight.
To show how much they're fans of Angel Reese, they won't put their money where their mouth is, a running theme with the Reese's pieces. And LSU, this person puts it perfectly. LSU, I'm calling y'all out. Angel Reese is back at home, and that should have been a sold-out arena. No excuses. This
Angels game? Let's just say if you dropped a pin in the arena, you'd hear it echo. The popcorn machine in the back sounds like a rock concert in comparison. Caitlyn doesn't play in a game, she is the game. Everyone else is just borrowing minutes. It's not just fandom, it's reverence. Caitlyn Clark has become a cultural force. The WNBA should be paying her hazardous duty pay for carrying the entire league's marketing on her back. Angel Reese, meanwhile, is still trying to figure out how to convert TikTok likes into ticket sales. Sorry, but a thirst trap isn't a fast break. And the media? Oh, they've already built Clark a statue in their hearts. Angel gets a few mentions here and there, usually sandwiched between a weather report and a commercial for allergy meds. Caitlyn's name, though, headline, banner, trending tab. Angel's name gets typed and autocorrect says, "Did you mean Caitlyn Clark?"
If you had any questions or any doubts as to who Caitlyn Clark was, you hopefully had them answered today. If you watched yesterday.
But maybe the most poetic part of it all is that Angel Reese and her supporters spent so much time yelling about how the media only loves Caitlyn because of X, Y, or Z. Well, here's a plot twist. Maybe they love her because she's just that good. Maybe when someone is out here changing the game, breaking records, and filling arenas like it's the Hunger Games for seats, they deserve a little attention. Meanwhile, Angel's supporters are on social media trying to gaslight the public into thinking 300 people in folding chairs is actually a packed house, and not just the maintenance crew sticking around out of pity. Delusion is a hell of a drug. But what's the Caitlyn Clark effect really? It's a reality check. It's the moment the world stopped pretending everyone's on the same level just because they share a uniform. Caitlyn doesn't just raise the bar, she launches it into orbit. She makes the rest of the league look like they're still stretching while she's dropping 30.
I just couldn't. So this is what an actual crowd looks like. Chloe Peterson put this up. That is a sold-out arena. 14,998 people. That's all it could hold. They all showed up.
Even better, she does it with style. Not Instagram filter style. Real, gritty, jaw-dropping, stop-what-you're-doing style. She's not looking to make a statement with her outfit. She is the statement. Angel Reese can keep wearing sunglasses indoors if it helps her cope, but unless those lenses can project fans into the arena, it's not helping. And let's not ignore the crowd demographics. At Clark's game, families, superfans, little girls with homemade signs, grown men losing their minds over jumpers. At Reese's game, mostly crickets. Honestly, at one point, someone swore they heard an echo say, "Why am I here?" You could blame the market, you could blame the timing, but at the end of the day, the fans show up for what they want, and they want Caitlyn Clark. Not the knockoff version, not the drama, not the influencer. They want the real deal. The player who lives and breathes basketball, not the one who's trying to trademark Bayou Barbie while shooting 3 for 11.
As dimes, just the palpable excitement whenever Caitlyn Clark takes the floor that maybe is different not only from any player in the WNBA, but from any player in basketball, period.
So yes, Angel Reese was shown levels, not in a shady, subliminal way, but in a big, bold, scoreboard-smashing, arena-filling way. The kind of way that makes people rethink who the face of the league really is. And here's a hint. It's not the one posting cryptic tweets after every game. It's the one lighting up scoreboards and bank accounts. The Caitlyn Clark effect isn't slowing down. It's not even plateauing. It's entering warp speed. And every time she steps on a court, the league gets a little more real, a little more exciting, and a lot more crowded. Angel Reese might want to take notes if she can find a seat in that sold-out arena. Or better yet, she can just stand in line with the rest of us, hoping to catch a glimpse of the phenomenon from the parking lot.